Welcome everyone to another podcast. So today this was an unplanned kind of a podcast. Sad news happened this week. Um, Apart from the Queen's demise, of course.
The
There
Queen
was
part.
apart from that, our Chelsea fans lost their beloved Super Tommy Tuchel. How do you call him?
Tuchleya.
Tuchel.
Tuchleya.
Okay, so it's typical Mumbai fans there. So yeah, so Tommy Tuchel was sacked from the new owner, Todd Boehly. So Neeraj and Kush were pouring their hearts out in the WhatsApp group. So they said might as well have a podcast and pour it all out, by talking it out. So yeah, this one will be over to both of them. Sahil and I are here as the audience enjoying them because they can't be just talking to each other. So you need people. So yeah,
Yeah.
Kush, Neeraj, Tommy Tuchel, what about him? What happened? What was this?
Neeraj, you go by.
I mean, this was the most absurd sack ever. Like we've been through so many sacks. Like as a Chelsea fan, people will say, "Inko to aadat hai, bhai. Kabhi bhi
Ah,
aayega, Abramovich will sack." But
Sack.
this has to be the most weirdest sack. I mean, I'm a part of like 2 to 3 Chelsea groups, and I know like around 100 people, and I'll say 99 of them easily have said like they
we
are
know that one
not
person.
satisfied.
So
Ha,
the one
everybody
which you have
knows.
left,
Ha, he's the only person who's happy with this Tuchel sack. That's it. Totally absurd. Like initially, so I
also
was
the
working.
this sack is, sorry to cut you, but this sack is nowhere where people thought that this would happen. Like, this is nowhere near. Like this was just a normal meme going on in the chat after the loss, that Tuchel sack, and it was no one took it
Yeah,
seriously,
no
and
one
it was
meant
just
it.
a
Correct.
laughing thing. No one meant it also, and
Mhm.
we also thought, okay, fine, okay, the ownership has changed. They'll of course have some faith in the manager. And next day, sudden, all of a sudden, I'm not kidding. It was lunchtime, I guess. It was around 2:30, and I have just
2:30.
checked my phone. A push notification has come in, and it says Chelsea sacked their manager. And my first was I Zawli. I am not even kidding. You can, and my friends out there. There are two of my friends sitting, and they're like, क्या हो गया कुछ?" And they really thought something happened in our campus. Campus में कुछ ना कुछ absurd चीजें होती रहती है. We find snakes, something, dog bites, ये सब होते रहता है. So they really thought that something has happened in the campus, and they are looking at me eye to eye कि what happened, bro? What happened? I'm like, manager sack हो गया. तो ये कौन से कंपनी का? I'm like, अरे चेल्सी का. और then they, वो लोग फुटबॉल फैंस नहीं है. and and I was so fucking sad. मैंने मेरा पूरा खाना छोड़ दिया है, and I am just ranting to them about Chelsea, and they have no clue.
Mhm.
And I am like, how?
What do you
Why?
think happened or contributed to this, Neeraj? Kush?
I have no idea. This is
No.
still,
Yeah.
there are no, you have told us to talk about it, but we are falling short of words, because the thing is with this sack, it has come to such a surprise to everyone that we don't know how to react, like to come in terms with it. And forget
Yeah,
sacking.
Correct.
Why, we have also appointed a manager.
yeah.
Sack, so now it feels that it's an
We'll come to
old
that.
news.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
But so we have not come in terms with the sacking yet. And see, there were criticisms with Tuchel, with my thing. I guess Neeraj also would have his criticisms
Correct.
there.
Yes.
But a sack is nowhere near what we'll criticize him for, okay? And it is
Correct.
something which is the harshest. Even Lampard's sack was still, we were like, ki, chalo, Lampard's sack is also justifiable and justified. But this sack, in the history of the football club, with how many ever sacks with Antonio Conte, जो भी जितने भी तुम managers निकालो,
Mourinho's.
Ancelotti, Mourinho,
हाँ.
everybody, this has been one of the most
Has
absurd and the most
has
unwanted.
anyone left Chelsea after their contract ended? Any manager?
See, I'm very
Mm,
bad with
Wow.
all these facts and everything,
very,
but
No,
I
but
don't
if at
think so.
all,
I don't
अगर कोई
think so.
very
बता
No,
दे
no,
difficult.
ना,
no.
No,
After
right?
No, no, no.
Abramovich, so I don't think, yeah.
Man,
Baap
I
re
am
baap.
laughing at ग्राहम पॉटर का 5 साल का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट
Is
बोला
it
वो जब
5 years?
साइन करता रहे 5 years
It's a 5-year
contract.
contract. That's so nice.
Wow,
and
that's so
I am
unlike
I
Yeah,
am
yeah,
Karthik.
yeah.
see no the point is when he is signing the contract वो मन में बोला रहेगा 5 मैच हागेगा मैं और मेरे को वापस ब्राइटन जाने का है.
Yeah, I mean that's what, right? I mean it's understandable कि as Chelsea fans it's difficult for you all to kind of emotionally get out of it emotionally and look at it, a bit practically. So from the outside, Sahil, what were you looking? I mean, when we were looking at Chelsea play, what's the thought about Tommy Tuchel himself, and what is your point of view opinion
So
about this whole scenario?
exactly. So first of all, I'm very happy to see these guys, rant about it because so for me when Tuchel got sacked, it was obviously very surprising because as I think Kush said, we didn't have any knowledge about it, no nothing. It was just a tweet from Chelsea Football Club stating that we've parted ways from with Thomas Tuchel, and I was like, what the fuck, okay, like like Abramovich era just flashback into my mind ki, fuck, this is all over it again. But I think it was a very foolish decision, like, to be very honest, because Tuchel just started, like, you after spending 266 million euros in the summer transfer market, with all of what Tuchel wanted, you got all the players and everything, and with just like 2 matches in after the summer transfer, you just sack him, which is very absurd. And I don't know what went behind. Like, I think there has to be quite a bit of drama that would have gone in the Chelsea management room,
We are
because
hoping that is the case.
yeah, I mean, because it this is something very absurd. Like, you cannot have a manager sacked after spending such a
Hmm.
high transfer amount and getting all the players that he needed, and just after the summer transfer window closes, you just sack him. So that is very, like, absurd and weird. But I also kind of, like, we'll come back to the new appointment of manager, the newly appointed manager. But I think Graham Potter is amazing.
Yeah.
That actually is one of the best signings of this summer transfer for Chelsea, I would say, appointing Graham Potter. But yeah, we'll talk about that
Yeah.
later. I think like, first I want to hear about hear the views of Kush and Neeraj as to what they think about him. But
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, very absurd, very weird, and also felt amazing. Like, I felt that
He's a Man
I
United
was
fan, guys, just for reference.
yeah. So yeah, I felt, and I'll tell you why also, because Tuchel came in, and I think that season itself he won the Champions League, right? I think
Champions.
I think I think that was so frustrating. Fucking
And a
Chelsea
struggling
didn't
Chelsea side. He made
struggling
him.
Yeah.
Chelsea, exactly. Like, I remember I had a bet with one of our friends, I think common friends, Cafe Dalal, right? So he's a diehard Chelsea fan, and we had a proper bet कि Chelsea तो semis में भी नहीं जाएगा Champions League के, because that season Chelsea was legit struggling. And
Struggling.
dude, like, I got ripped off because they fucking won the Champions League. They went on to the finals and won it, and I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, I was really pissed at that time. But now I think it felt happy that, okay, Tuchel is gone. Chelsea's back in its old glory format.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
coming to what Sahil mentioned, like dropped off, like what Tuchel has done. I mean, no words will be fall shorting like the gratitude what he's done to us. I mean, if you
Oh,
see the fall of the ownership, man. I mean, I remember during that Lille game, he told like if we do not have a aeroplane, we go by
Yeah.
train. If we do not have a train, we
Yeah,
go by bus. And if we do not have a bus, I'll ride a
ah,
seven-seater. Man,
fuck.
that immense passion, yeah. I mean, that was the best thing was which was going around during that fall and that those things. That phase was not critical, but Tuchel made it easy for us, and it
yes,
was seamless eventually. If you see go back to that phase now, it seems like yeah, Tuchel managed it really well. So I mean, it's very bad like how we've treated him, like just giving 1 month after all those things, and this is the worst way you can treat if you see Rio Ferdinand, even he was so connected with him, like, and
Yeah.
the connection with the players as well, like if you see uh Thiago
Reese.
yes,
Silva
yes.
and Reece
His
James and all
Yeah.
those
his
things.
wife,
Like
Thiago Silva's wife, it speaks volume when Thiago Silva's wife tweets about your
She's been pretty vocal,
husband's
but
manager.
yeah,
That is fine, but it's still
That's
a
true.
big
yeah,
thing to
yeah.
talk about your husband's
No, I
manager because
mean,
that shows
he's
how
managed
well they
a
would be.
37, 38-year-old Thiago Silva at the highest level. So
Yes,
Definitely.
exactly.
credits to him.
That's true.
I
That's
mean,
true. That's
from
true.
the outside, if you want me to look at it, I mean, everyone's been very emotionally involved in this. So just to give a practical angle to it, I think from Todd Boehly's lenses, he's an American owner, right? Unlike Abramovich, who was a result-based owner. I mean, if it's that if it's fair to say. But Todd Boehly, American owner, American sports culture, I think they believe a lot in processes, in journeys, in what's being done. I think with Tuchel this season and second half of last season, it was a struggle tactically. It was a huge struggle tactically. It was coming in terms of Tuchel not being able to manage the side efficiently in terms of tactics. He had the players. Coupled to that, Lukaku. I mean, that's 100 million wasted down the drain. Couldn't manage him, and then
Yeah.
he had to loan him, and then he was very minimally involved in transfers, which was like big reporters have reported that Tuchel doesn't necessarily come and talk to players for transfers, etc. Which Xavi did, which helped Rafinha because both of you all had Champions League football, but it helps when a manager gets involved. All of that for a new owner. I mean, if he does not get that support, and he's splashing the money, but he needs that support from the manager. That could be a thing. And then the start of this season has been tactically worse Chelsea that I have seen personally, tactically, especially under
Yeah.
Tuchel. I mean, for some
Yeah.
reason, he just twisted his whole system. He wants it to be around individual talents, individual performances. The defense is completely new. Attackers have all lost their form except for Raheem Sterling. I mean, the
Yeah.
youngsters, Pulisic. Last match, I saw ZH. I saw the what do you say compilation of just ZH. What was that? I mean, it was typically you've told ZH go and shoot, go and
He's
just
not
cross.
played in his
Yeah.
natural position. Ziyech is not played in
Yeah,
his
but
natural
decision making,
position.
right? I'm talking
So,
about simple
so,
decision making. He's shooting from
so
30 yards out, etc., etc.
So
Correct. 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 Correct.
with Tuchel, what happened this season is, in my opinion, personally, no player yet has played his natural position. I don't think Neeraj will disagree to this
Except for the
because
Correct.
defense.
ex- even defense, Rishi James is playing as a wing back, which he is
Correct.
not very good at. He's not
Who?
good at a wing back. James, he's not good at wing back.
James.
RCB, he played it. Yeah.
He's a proper right back, or he give him an RCB position, but that also he does not. So he's a right back and he will give you crosses, which we need and which we have people who will. Broja, amazing striker. Use him as a striker up front. Give him two left, and we have amazing players who can actually deliver. We have Raheem Sterling who can actually,
Yeah.
go past the defense. Even if you play
Yeah.
Pulisic regularly, he will go past the defense. Play
Confidence issue.
Mount, yeah, a lot of confidence because players are not playing at the natural position. You are playing Ruben Loftus-Cheek as I don't know what. Jorginho is completely clueless. We are
CHO loaned out.
we are
Yeah.
CHO
CHO
loaned
loaned
out.
out.
We are struggling with Kante and Kovacic's injury. That is fine, but then we still
Ah.
have players who can make an impact, and they are not being given their natural position. Even Mount's form dip is this thing. It is a
Consequence of that. Yeah.
yes consequence of not playing the players in their position. So that is the only thing which
Kai
the
Havertz,
players. I
Kai
have
Havertz. Exactly.
the main example.
Yeah.
what is and how many times will you give him chances there? He's not doing it once, not doing it twice, thrice. How much time? That is the only frustration each and every Chelsea fan had. Ki, bhai, please change your tactics.
But
Come
when you
back to
see so much
4-3-3.
resistance to change, it's a huge worry. It's a huge concern. Like he hasn't tried anything else. He's just stuck to
Nothing.
that. So that's a
Stuck
huge
to that.
worry, right?
Nothing.
As an
Of
owner,
course, that was
if you
worrisome.
don't get
Yes,
answers
that
to
was.
that. Hmm.
So
Yep.
So in the previous
Okay.
podcast, I had mentioned, right, want to see Plan B of Tuchel because he's been back with 300 million. So I
Yes.
thought they'll give him
Yeah.
that chance, but then
Yeah, and you
what
had
happened
also
was
mentioned on the previous podcast that there was an area that should have been addressed first thing, which was striker, which was not done.
Striker. Correct.
And he went, I
Yeah.
think he tried for Ronaldo anyway. all of that is. We don't know. Those are just conspiracies, maybe. But also, Tuchel's
Rumors.
talent ID has been an issue since his career started. He's only been good tactically, but then now tactically also is struggling. So it's a lose-lose. You can understand it's not necessarily an out of the blue decision necessarily. Maybe people don't didn't talk about it because of that emotional connect you have with him.
Yes.
कि last year
Yes.
World Cup, उसके पहले Champions League, Super Cup, but on field for an outsider, new owner, right? For him, it's a fresh start. So for him, it's
Right.
understandable. I guess.
But
No, so
also
I
to be
wha-
to वो जो World Cup also is, so just वो जो World Cup which we won, I don't think we won it convincingly. See, we have to go and win matches convincingly. So we've just gone and won the World Cup because of course everybody thinks we are the favorite and we have to win it because we have
That
fucked
was
it up first time.
Abramovich's last trophy, right?
Yes, that was the
That
last
was left
trophy
also
which he
for
won,
him to win.
which was also left for this cabinet, and then I guess उसके बाद ही पुतिन को बोला रहेगा आप तू कर भाई जो करने का मेरा हो गया setting है.
Yeah.
But see, after a point, I still remember that Real Madrid game, the Champions League semi-final. Only Tuchel can do it, coming back from a 3-0 game
Yeah,
to, bring it to 3-0.
Yeah.
And then again, Tuchel can only do it and losing it also. Okay, so we are capable of doing all these things under Tuchel, coming back and again losing it. But that frustration of tactically not changing, that
Yeah.
attackers always disappointed had creeped in, as you said, from the last season, last half, second half, where we were struggling constantly for scoring goals.
Goals,
The defense was bleeding very badly. We started
Final third.
giving goals. So
Correct.
I guess even the opponents were very well versed with our system now because people knew what we are going to do next. And that is what was now playing against us, which was for us for a lot of time was now playing against us. And
Yeah.
maybe that resistance to change, which
Yeah.
Saurabh mentioned, has gone against him.
Sahil, you were
Hey,
saying
also
something.
one last thing to add. Sorry, but I just want to add this one thing, as Saurabh said, right? So in a club, I think it's very very crucial to have the manager and the owner working, very in sync with
Sync.
each other. And I think now that I think of it, as Saurabh said, like ToddBoehly, being an American, owner and coming from that American sports background. So I support Los Angeles Lakers. He's a minority stakeholder in that. He has a stake in Los Angeles Dodgers and the LA women team. So speaking from LA Lakers point of view, right? He has shown this kind of pattern in that team as well, right? Where now that I think of it, he believes in processes. He believes in the part where it's okay that you are not winning it for now, but there has to be significant improvements happening at every stage of the entire season. So I remember
Checklist.
this one where Lakers had won, right? When Lakers had won in 2020, I guess. That season was a proper example, classic example of how they moved from a very basic normal team to a team which was going up every game by game, moving up the ladder and competing with all the other big teams. So yeah, I totally, support this point. And I think, yeah, I think we didn't knew that it was coming, but I think in the management, everyone knew that,
Yeah.
internally they knew that maybe it was
Yeah.
coming. So yeah,
To
fair.
to maybe wrap the Thomas Tuchel saga, I think only one thing can give us all the answers, which is a Todd Boehly press conference. So maybe that's needed
Yeah,
very soon for Chelsea fans' sake. And
correct.
yeah, now coming to the
He's too
new
big for it.
appointment.
I don't think he'll give
Yeah,
that
I
shit.
mean, I
It's
was
too
saying
big.
that's the ideal thing that can only give us the entire answer.
Yes,
Answers.
that's right.
So now, new appointment, Mr. Graham
Ah,
Potter, the
Todd
probably
बनाने
the
वाला कैसा क्लब को मैनेज करेगा
no,
रे?
no, you can't disrespect him like that. Probably
No, 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 no,
probably
no.
the best,
Exactly.
one of the, if not the best English manager in the game.
Yeah.
So, any first thoughts on Graham Potter, Kush Neeraj? Because I've been following Potter for 2 years now. No, I
Yeah,
know his tactics a lot. I can give my opinions later, but first thoughts, Kush Neeraj on Graham Potter being
I
the
have
new Chelsea
complete.
manager.
Neeraj, you can take this because I have completely zero idea. See, I am a football fan, but I watch matches which are very, very, significant.
Yeah,
Like I will watch a top six club match or
fair.
something, and I'll also watch a top six club if it's against Brighton. So and you don't possibly watch it with that lens where you tactically watch
Yeah.
Brighton play So I might be the wrong person because maybe Neeraj he has followed Brighton for the last.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I've watched their games. I mean, Brighton, if you say they were a work in progress last season, also, they were progressing well, and now they are reaping the benefits. Like they have more like a possession play if you see and the process. So I mean, good big fan of what Brighton play. I mean, it'll be good if they implement in Chelsea as well. But yeah, that was a small team. He needed some time, and over here the expectations are totally different. If you see, so yeah, so bit skeptical on that aspect, but I think he should do good because he's tactically sound like if you see like to like replacement is there. Like Tuchel is also a great tactician. I think Potters is also a great tactician. So we need that kind of a
Great.
player. So I think he can do well. Yeah.
Uh,
Great.
does that?
That sounds so optimistic to me because
Mhm.
I don't know. See, okay, and now yesterday also I guess I was asking Saurabh, I was asking Dipesh like how Potter is, and they have of course everybody's told me that he's actually a very good manager. So now I'll go back and watch Brighton games and everything. So I want to know how it is, and I've come to know that he always changes tactics as per his opponents. So it is very it gives a sense of excitement in my in terms of wanting to watch Chelsea play
It,
again,
that
and
won't
I'm
be
so
sustainable
hopeful.
at Chelsea though. He cannot do that at Chelsea. In a big
Okay,
club, you cannot because with that, there's a hit and a miss. At Brighton, he can
right,
afford to lose a match doing that, and it will go under the
right,
radar.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
right,
finished, I think, 16th in his first season, and last season, I think, top half,
Mid table.
yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere, yeah.
mid-table.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mid table.
Overall, that tactic hasn't helped Brighton achieve something above their shoulders, some like
yeah,
top 10.
correct,
When it does it, the
correct.
world praises it. When it doesn't
right.
Yeah,
go, then it goes under the radar. That is not sustainable at a club like Chelsea, wherein every week you tweak and you have the liberty to tweak that margin of error is very low. So
Hmm.
Brighton, he had that margin of error. At Chelsea, he has to get the basics right, which he will, which he certainly will. But वही है कि elite, we've seen him do at Brighton. He's got fantastic talent ID. Again, something better than Tuchel at. Right, like he sold the likes of Ben White, gotten a replacement like that. He sold
yeah,
Bissouma, gotten Casido like that. He sold a lot of player Mopai, and he's got a replacement like that. So talent idea is good, but वही है elite level में देखा नहीं है कभी करते हुए. Let's see if we can do it at the elite level.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that regarding Graham Potter's changing tactic with every opponent scenario, that was my point on him. Sahil, any opinion on Graham
Yeah.
Potter? Yes.
So exactly. So I think Graham Potter is literally one of the finest English coaches available. I genuinely thought he might go for English national team job, right? Because post World Cup, I thought that if the current manager is not up to the mark, they might replace him and get him to do that job. Because if you look at Graham Potter, right, from the start, so I have not been much following him, but I went and digged up on Potter
Oh,
post our first match, right, when we lost to Brighton, right, the
okay.
first Premier League match, because I genuinely loved their style of play,
Yeah.
their entire way that they dominated the match. So as I digged up, we I think we saw that he has managed some Sweden club,
Yeah.
Östersunds, right?
The Europa League.
And I think, yeah, Europa League, and I think there was one Arsenal upset that happened 2-1. They won in a semi-final, and you guys came back again. So looking at his style of play, I totally agree that he is someone who works the entire game according to the opponents. Fairly agree that if that will work at an elite level or not, because if you look at Ostersund's also, that like the matches that he had done, it worked against Arsenal, but it didn't work against Arsenal again in the second leg. So
Yep.
that is something which I think Graham Potter needs to kind of look into it, because now as he's back, right, at an elite level, he has to deliver. And I think all the Chelsea fans will agree that it cannot be like a hit and miss. Maybe you guys will give him a room and try to get in
No scope.
certain certain this thing, but yeah, I mean, it's again how you guys look at it. from his perspective or from the entire club's perspective. But
What?
but yeah, I mean overall, I feel it's a very good signing. I think it's one of the best signing, as I said earlier. Like from Thomas Tuchel, I think if you would have gone to Pochettino, I would have been like, no. But
Yeah.
with Graham Potter, I think I'm like, yes, this sounds exciting, and for the league as well, right? Like
Right.
for the entire competitor, because Chelsea, like you, like being an United fan, I know, like it hurts and it's painful to say that we need Chelsea in that glory form, because beating that Chelsea in the glory form will be an amazing feeling. If you beat Chelsea, which is not in that glory form and not in that crazy form, it'll be like कि हाँ यार Chelsea का वैसे ही bad form चल रहा है तो क्या ही मतलब ठीक है another win. But no, I
I
think it's really good for the league. It's an amazing sign.
I was hoping for Lopetegui. I don't know why we were not linked with him. I was thinking that he might be
He's
also a
not
very good
comfortable with the
signing.
language, no?
Okay, I
I
did
don't
not
think
know
he
about the
knows
language.
good
Okay,
English.
okay. So
Because
I was thinking
he's
that
been at
that would
only
be
one elite club before, a similar elite club,
right,
similar
right,
thought process. Real Madrid. It
Yeah.
didn't go well there.
and did not go well. So I was thinking of that because that day when Tuchel got sacked, I guess Leipzig also sacked their manager. And I guess
Okay.
he was also with Sevilla when Lopetegui got sacked from Sevilla, right? If I'm not wrong,
He's there
gotten
at Sevilla
sacked from.
still.
He's still
No,
at Sevilla, yeah.
he's still at Sevilla. He's not gotten sacked yet
No,
because
I don't
that day
think.
the news were coming that they have sacked him.
Oh
Okay,
no.
so I thought that there were news of him sacking as well. So I was thinking that that might be a chance there. But all said and done, Graham Potter is there. After listening to all of you, I am feeling very optimistic now. Also, signing of a 5-year deal after
Yeah,
what
yeah,
Yeah.
happened
that's
to
that's a sign of
after what
trust.
happened to Tuchel, that shows a sign of the process which I guess Sahil was talking about, which he's seen in LA, Lakers and
Yeah.
Dodgers maybe. So again, hopeful and optimistic there that Todd has a plan in mind and everything. After spending so much, maybe he has a process in mind which might have not aligned with what Tuchel is thinking. So I'm all but optimistic about what is going to happen.
Yeah.
So also this queen passing away, uh, I am hoping that the this 10-day break maybe helps Potter
Yeah.
if at all there is a break or in
Wow.
this sporting event. This
मतलबी
this
मेरे को लगा कुछ
I
अच्छा बोलने
mean,
वाला
I
है.
mean, you can't
this
be that optimistic, dude.
this
Like
this
Queen
ten
passing
day
away, this guy is looking positive in every situation.
this 10 day this imagine playing a match in 2 days to playing a match after
That's
10
okay. So
15
that's
days.
in fact good, no? He does not have anything to lose. खेलो बिंदास.
Yeah.
तो
And he's,
अरे
I
जो
think
भी
you
है
guys are playing Liverpool, right? Next, I don't know.
फुलहम खेल रहे ये वीक
Fulham के
Difficult.
बाद
Away,
Liverpool. I
home
think
या away?
Chelsea Liverpool है.
अवे है फुलहम अवे है हमारा ऑलरेडी वो भी डार्बी है सो
So what do you think, Kush Neeraj will? I mean, of course, he's given him a new 5-year deal, but in your Chelsea fan emotional hard point of view, will he be back irrespective of results? Say, for example, Graham Potter does not achieve top four for you this season. No trophies, no Champions League, no FA Cup, no League Cup. Will he stay next season?
I think yes. I think yes. Depending on so they've made already a fool out of themselves by sacking Tuchel. I think
Uh,
there's no reason. I mean, there's no reason they should not back him because they have bought it at the risk, right? So building that process of 5-year contract and all those things. If we do not know how the new owners think, but
yeah.
I think they have thought about it and they want a process. So I think they will back him. What about
Mhm.
you, Kush? What do you think?
He is
so
hoping. He does not know if they will. He's like, I hope they back him.
Yeah.
so with this 5-year deal I'm only thinking that this he will be trusted with each and so right now I'm only looking at all the bad possible things which can happen this season is we get out of top 4, not even Europa League. So we get out of top 4. We don't secure Europa League. We don't get into any finals. We get out of Champions League maybe in the round of 16s or something like that. So all the possible bad scenarios, and still thinking if he survives that, then there will be a lot of expectations of him next season. which is also again difficult to think that will he be able to deliver there. So if he cannot do that well, then next season, after all this thing which has happened, which I've said this season, maybe again a mid-season sack is coming up next season. If not, if we survive all these things, well, I'm not thinking at the toppest level, he'll come again. So with everything where we've managed, sacked a manager halfway, one trophy, we managed to win one trophy. So
Instant success.
with that, Chelsea has been lucky, and I don't know
That's
if
what I was
other
going to
fans,
say.
are
History
envious
has
for
told
us.
us one thing about Chelsea struggling in a season. They've gone on to win the Champions League or
Champions League.
something.
So
So
forget even though if not Champions League, we have managed. We've secured top four. We've won an EFL or
survive.
a FA Cup. ऐसा.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've managed to do that. So as Chelsea fans, how much ever frustrated we are with manager sacking initially, at the back of our head we know कि भाई एक तो शायद आ जाएगा, and
I
which
This is
which
so
is
true.
not the which
This
is
is
not the case with other teams, because people struggle there with with giving managers their time, with giving the process, सब कुछ सब सही होता है, and they end up not winning any trophies. And
but it
हम लोग as a
but it also comes with a thing that Abramovich knows there's no end to the money that he can spend. He does not
Yeah.
care about whatever money that goes in. So that he does not care. And all he wants is
with
results. So
with
that
with
so Chelsea
Todd
can
with
afford
Todd
that.
looking at the signings, I don't think even he cares. The
No,
amount
no.
of money is the
No,
amount
He
of
no,
money
spends,
is
no.
but you need a pattern
He
to know
spends,
if he's
yeah.
okay to spend it every window.
Correct.
that
Correct.
I
Correct.
agree.
Correct.
That we need to know. We'll come to know. But the amount he's just
He's
lashed
an
out money
American
on
owner. I'm
players.
sure he will have an end to his. There would have a limit to his
I see right now what
expenses.
I'm thinking is I hope he does not have, like, look, if he but the thing is, like, what I
Pampered.
still cannot justify. I don't know. I cannot justify the player amount which we have given to Fofana, Kurela. I don't know. Again, see, we
Correct.
spent like what 40, 50 odd million for Cucurella, and
60.
I 60
60.
million, and so
More than
and
Haaland.
and more than Haaland. Haaland is scoring for what? How many clean sheets has Cucurella got? Nothing. I guess
अकेला क्या
1-2
करेगा
matches
यार?
एक
हाँ,
दो
वो
match
अकेला
he showed that spark 1-2 matches, and then again that died on. But again, I'm still
He meets his ex-manager now.
That's that is the upside
This
to it. And
I wanted to bring this
again,
point actually. So what Graham Potter will bring to you is, in terms of plug and play, is he also plays three at the back. And
Correct.
Chelsea
Yeah.
has recruited in a
Yeah.
way wherein they play three at the back. So he
Yeah.
has his resources, at least in terms of defenses.
correct. I don't care. Don't play Risky James as a wing back, please. Yeah, he's being wasted over there. He's getting tired. He's getting no help from the right wingers whatsoever. Mount हग रहा है वहां पे पूरा लेके, उसको सीएम में कोई हेल्प नहीं कर रहा है. वो भाग भाग के उसका क्रॉसेज एक टाइम के बाद हगना शुरू हो जाएगा, which I don't want. That is his best ability which he has. Pinch crosses, और जब भी उसने डिलीवर किया, we have scored every time when he has delivered
Yeah.
such
He's a match winner.
beautiful crosses. He is out and out match winner there with Broja there. I don't know if I'm pronouncing him right.
Broja
but
will get his chances under Potter for sure.
and he is a beast.
Oba.
He's a beast. He's a beast with Oba and Broja there. I guess uska delivery is such an important, crucial point at right wing for us, because left wing में Sterling मचा रहा है, वो फुल मचा रहा है वहां पे. तो राइट विंग पे एक चीज का कमी है, प्लीज भर दो पॉटर भाई, प्लीज कर दो कुछ, इसको कुछ सेटल कर दो
पॉटर
स्क्वाड को
पॉट बनाएगा राइट विंग.
भाई. तू कर उसका पॉटरी बना, जो करना है कर, क्ले यूज कर, मड यूज कर, माखी चूज, जो करना है कर, बट भाई मेरे को चाहिए भाई. अभी ऐसा है कि ठीक है, इवन इफ वी हैव if we lose we have this एक दो ड्रॉ चल जाएगा मेरे को, बट मेरे को प्लीज गेम दिखा. एक चीज पे मैं फ्रस्ट्रेटेड था टूचेल से कि भाई गेम नहीं दिख रहा है. वो दिन वेस्ट हैम का गेम मां कसम मैं 90 इंच के स्क्रीन पे देख रहा हूँ. मेरे बड़े अंकल, मेरे पापा, मेरी दो आंटियां देख रहे हैं, वो लोग को कुछ नहीं पता है। मेरे पापा ने मैंने गोल करने का सेलिब्रेट किया, वो लोग उसके बाद सेकेंड गोल हमने जो खाया, पापा बोलते क्या कर रहा है ये तुम्हारा टीम। मेरे पापा को घंटा कुछ नहीं पता है गेम का। माँ कसम भाई क्या फ्रस्ट्रेशन, वो तो वीआर ने जो हगा है
उसमें
भाई
तो
जो
वेस्ट हैम भी हग रहा था वो मैच में, लाइक इट वाज लाइक टू पीपल हु डोंट नो टू प्ले फुटबॉल आर प्लेइंग फुटबॉल, बट दे
भाई
आर वेल पेड
क्या
प्लेयर्स, सो समथिंग इज
इतना
हैपनिंग।
फ्रस्ट्रेटेड में कोई मैच में कभी नहीं रहा है। मेरा डेटा खत्म हो गया 2 GB का, मुझे
I remember
वापस चाहिए
Neeraj
मैच छोड़।
this thing. So I had missed the first half. मैं सोच रहा था second half I'll watch. Neeraj was like
अच्छा
मत
हुआ
देख.
मिस किया पागल, कुछ नहीं था वो देखने के लिए फर्स्ट हाफ में। क्या क्या टट्टी गेम भाई, आई गेस द शिटिएस्ट गेम आई हैव सीन इन माय एंटायर
And you were
फुटबॉल।
lucky to get all 3 points also ना end में that
Yeah, exactly.
वही तो बोल रहा हूँ
Fucking
भाई, वो
dude.
वार ने जो हगा है भाई, वो जो हगा है, खाली वो
Yeah.
रात का पीसफुल स्लीप और 3 पॉइंट दिया हम लोग को बस, और कुछ नहीं। पीसफुल पता नहीं दिया कि नहीं, बट वो 3 पॉइंट दिया बस। अभी एक टेबल में एक कंसिडरेबल अच्छा पोजीशन में पॉटर को स्टार्ट देने के लिए बस,
Potter
और
का
कुछ
ब्राइटन तुम्हारे ऊपर है.
तुम्हारे
हाँ
ऊपर है।
ऊपर है, हमारे ऊपर है वो। अभी
बेचारा यार.
उसको अरे ब्राइटन किसको, ब्राइटन को जाने देने में
Oh,
जाएगा
you know
बेचारा किसको।
Brighton appointed Lalana as manager.
Yeah,
हाँ,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
player
I just
manager.
saw in the
Player manager,
Out
player
of the
manager।
blue, man. I mean, look
भाई ये
at
तो
But I
what
think
they
कुछ
are thinking, man.
No,
ये
but
कुछ
I
और
think
नहीं।
I think Saurabh, it is more like because Lanana being a senior player and they just want to continue with their Potter tactics. I think
Yeah.
Lanana will just implement whatever tactics Potter has instilled and be like कि भाई एक हफ्ते पहले जो कर रहे थे अब बस करते
वही
रहो
कर
वही करते रहो।
वही
Maybe
करते
we
रहो,
don't
जो
like,
ड्रिल
know
है।
about this part of Lalana. Maybe he's a, I mean, tactical mastermind.
Yeah.
Be
yeah,
doing his
maybe
licenses, maybe.
maybe
He still looks like that
we don't
22-year-old player from
हाँ
Southampton.
ना, एकदम मस्त
Now he's
क्यूटी
30
लगता है
plus.
अभी, मेरे को
Didn't
पता है
know.
एज हुआ है कि नहीं वो बंदा, ऐसा सेम लगता है मेरे को, आज भी फोटो देखा
Double
सेम,
footed
हो गया
genius
रहेगा।
था यार. Injury की
फर्क ही
वजह
नहीं
से.
पड़ा है
True,
भाई।
true, true. मेरे को
Anyway.
एक चीज मेरे को बस बोलना है कि
हाँ.
कुछ I love this
Expectation.
transformation of Kush. Like no expectation. Have you guys seen that? I don't know. I don't remember that Insta reel. Angry Chelsea fan
Angry rant man.
who wears fake.
Rant man।
Exactly, rant man. Kush has gone from that, like he's totally copied that guy where
भाई
done it. But yeah, and
भाई
also
Shout
guys,
out to
the
Angry
memes.
Rant man.
Shout out to
भाई
Aryan, but also the memes, right? Like दो तीन memes जो मैंने देखे after Tuchel getting signed. One is like Zidane is linked with Chelsea. तो नीचे पब्लिक लिखता है कि हाँ he is learning English. Zidane started learning English to reject Chelsea again. Like,
But
I'm
that
like,
was Zizou से मैं डर रहा था. I mean, Zizou at Chelsea would have been like,
same. It will be
I mean,
mad. It
it's
would
like
have
a
been
recipe
नहीं,
for success if he knew the language, all of that.
डिफिकल्ट था वो
also
जीजू।
Also, BillyGilmour, guys. BillyGilmour went from Chelsea to Brighton.
That boy, man.
To stay under
फालतू
Potter.
है उसके साथ
I
यार.
mean, मैं वो मेरे दिमाग में वही आ रहा है कि dude, कितना नसीब खराब हो सकता है। मतलब मैं समझ सकता हूँ
Permanently
कि
so
ठीक है,
बेच
वो
दिया.
गया Potter,
Yeah, permanent.
परमानेंट बेचा था भाई,
Permanent.
बेचा उसको, बेचा
Permanent है.
dude.
परमानेंट बेचा था उसको।
कुछ
मतलब
12
क्या
13 million का.
पॉटर
Man.
उसके कितना यूज होता पता, कितना यूज
I
करता उसको.
I guess
I had asked Neeraj in the last podcast, what about
Correct.
Billy Gilmour?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah,
Nobody
I
has-
guess उसका बायबैक क्लॉज है, if I'm not
अबे
mistaken.
थोड़ी
we
अभी
have a
ये
buy-
अभी चाहिए ना.
अरे बट ऐसा
Okay.
अभी नहीं
अभी
खींचेगा, अभी नहीं खींचेगा, बट ऑफ कोर्स नेक्स्ट सीजन अगर चाहिए पॉटर को तो मे बी वी कैन गेट हिम बैक
किधर
अगेन।
बेचा?
अरे
किधर
ब्राइटन
बेचा?
ही ना dude.
Brighton
ब्राइटन ही में गया है
अरे
वो,
वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ. The irony of the
ब्राइटन में
situation.
वो।
उसको चेल्सी से ब्राइटन
ये
बेचा.
तो और भी क्रेजी है यार.
वही
और
वही
हमने
वही.
मैनेजर ले लिया, हम बोला बाकी चूत गाड़ बर्बाद।
बिली गिलमोर यार बेचारा.
BillyGilmour, यार.
छोड़ो.
Anyway, exactly.
Okay, so to
कोई नहीं.
wrap this up, I think okay, like expectation तो तुम्हारा समझ गया कि क्या है overall. उसके अलावा yeah, I think there was also a report wherein they said Todd probably didn't want anything Abramovich at Chelsea. Just one by one getting free of each key stakeholder that Abramovich had. So yeah, thank you everyone for this. Any last thoughts individually on this whole Chelsea saga? Kush, Neeraj, mainly y'all.
right? Just optimism. मेरे को बस अच्छा football. I just want to watch a good football team playing a
Uh,
good football match at the highest level. That's all I'm hoping at, because watching that last Champions League match was also so freaking frustrating for a fan to watch.
Yeah.
Because if you cannot even try and score one goal, I don't mind losing, but losing in such a way with a team.
XG भी नहीं था बिल्कुल. I think 1 XG कुछ तो था.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was, and again that number 9 curse, watching Aubameyang play, not having taking shots, it's so frustrating to watch. I just am, controlling so much. I have already abused, and I'm
End on
hoping you
optimism.
just
End
cut
on
it.
optimism. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
my expectations would be, I mean, I just want this new manager to bring his own new style, because small clubs mein you play for a draw or maximum for a win, luckily ho gaye to, so that is why I used to adapt foot against the opponents. But yahan pe to you have to establish a play because you're a top team and you have to beat the opponent. So I just want, I mean, theek hai top 4 nahi hua chalega, but I just want him to establish a play. So going with the leaf of Sahil, establish a play this season, that's
Yeah.
it. Abhi bas, that is what I need.
I'm only happy to end this all. I had another nightmare in my mind that eventually Graham Potter might go to Spurs, and that was my biggest nightmare. So I'm okay with that
Yeah.
now. No more at Spurs. Conte will eventually move on, and they'll struggle again to find someone. So anyway, thank you
Speaking from
everyone.
an Arsenal point of view, Arsenal.
Thank you everyone, and all the best, Kush Neeraj, to both of you. We will be seeing the
All the
next
best,
one on
guys.
Sunday, of course.
Thank you, guys.
We'll have to
Yeah.
we'll try and have this podcast uploaded before that. So yeah, see you in the next podcast. Thank you everyone. Goodbye.
Chalo. Bye bye.
Take care.
Bye.